Now, September is the International Month of Deaf People, also known as Deaf Awareness Month. It places a focus on challenges of the hearing impaired community. And as you know, September is about to end. Now, one of those is workplace communication. Deaf counsellor at Cliffe Dekker Hofmeyr, or CDH for short, Charlene Holder, says companies can do more. She says businesses should provide captions, interpreters and other services. Holder joins us now in studio with her interpreter, Dimakatso Mutimele, to discuss this whole situation. Thank you very much, Charlene. Welcome to Today on eNCA. Thank you very much for joining me here this afternoon. Firstly, a broad question. What does it mean to be a deaf person in a workplace?
Well, being a deaf person in the workplace, it means a lot. And firstly, it is a great challenge as well. Communication is a great barrier for a lot of deaf people. I think a lot of hearing people are also very skeptical as to how they can communicate with deaf people, and that's the biggest challenge we face.
And then how do you thrive in a professional environment if you're deaf?
For me, the ways in which I thrive is to create awareness to various companies out there for them to provide resources. It can be material resources like interpreting services, captions and titles, as you've said. So these resources will enable the deaf people to thrive in the workplace.
Yeah, I mean, can technology play a role? We live in the digital age now.
Technology definitely is very important, especially in the deaf community. I think for me, sorry to interrupt there, technology can be video calls, especially when it comes to virtual meetings. Technology has enabled us to be able to access the broader community out there. If there was no technology, I wouldn't be able to access certain meetings. I wouldn't be able to get through to getting interpreter services as well. And on email, this is also how I communicate with clients and other staff members. So I rely heavily on technology, and I'm very thankful for technology.
Your sign language is now an official language in the country. I must say I'm embarrassed that I don't know how to speak sign language, and I need to learn. I think time has come for us not to expect or put the responsibility only on deaf people to do sign language. We all have to learn sign language. What do you say to that?
Definitely. I think I also encourage a lot of hearing people to learn sign language. This will also enable them to engage more with deaf people. It's also upon hearing people to support the deaf community. I think especially with companies out there that have deaf employees, it's important that they provide resources to enable the deaf people to thrive, as you say, and to be more inclusive in the workplace.
Yeah. So now that it's an official language, do you think it's going to help workplaces like CDH, like others here, like us here at eNCA, to advance the rights and social inclusion of the hearing impaired?
Well, I've been working at CDH for 4 years now, and I must say I am extremely privileged to be working at CDH. CDH has supported the various deaf staff members that have been working with the organization. They provide interpreting services, they ensure there are captions and subtitling when there are meetings as well. I urge various companies out there to also do the same. Companies obviously can do it.
Some companies will say they don't have budget, they don't have costing. I guess it's beyond cost. Actually, it's just the right thing to do.
That's exactly it. It's not really about the money, as you say. Hearing people have privileges to things like virtual meetings, right? I think it's upon the companies to provide that to the deaf staff members as well.
Yeah. Are there major challenges that you think a place like CDH is still facing in accommodating hearing impaired, and some learnings or that you might share with our viewers so that other companies who are listening to our conversation might say, okay, I need to do it differently?
Sure. I'm still thinking about this. When I started working at CDH, it was a bit of a shock on the hearing people's side. The hearing employees didn't know how to work with the deaf employees. We had to provide a little course where we taught them a bit of sign language and also deaf culture. This enabled the hearing people to learn basic ways in which they can communicate with us as staff. This also allowed us to be more friendly with each other and more inclusive. So I did obviously enjoy it, and I encourage a lot of hearing people out there to please learn sign language.
Yeah, I think it's a very important point because it is an official language now. I think for many of us, it's actually a must because then we can make everybody feel included all the time. Thank you very much, Charlene, for sharing your experience, your professional experience at Cliffe Dekker Hofmeyr, CDH. As a deaf professional and being hearing impaired is not easy. But now in South Africa, we have no excuse. All of us, we need to be learning the sign language as one of our official languages. Thank you for your time.